The air was thick with anticipation as the townsfolk of Harmony Hollow gathered at the edge of the forest. Lanterns flickered in the crisp evening breeze, casting long shadows on the cobblestone path. A young boy, no more than 10, leaned eagerly against his father's side, his eyes wide with curiosity. "Tell me again," he whispered, "about the tree that grants wishes." His father sighed, a mix of wonder and skepticism flickering across his face. "It's just a tale, son," he murmured, though his gaze lingered on the forest's edge. If you've ever wondered about the power of a simple wish, or the lessons hidden in a story, welcome to Timeless Stories, where every tale invites you to reflect and grow. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey of discovery. Now let's dive into this magical story. The courtroom buzzed with tension, its oak-paneled walls trapping the whispers of uncertainty and the weight of a town's judgment. In Riverbridge, a quiet town with winding streets and tightly knit communities, the murder trial of Darrell Harris had become the talk of every diner and front porch. The accused sat silently at the defense table, his head low, his hands clasped tightly together. Across the aisle, the prosecution prepared to deliver what everyone assumed would be the final blow in an already damning case. Then it happened. "Stop this trial. I have something important to say." The voice, high-pitched and trembling, pierced through the courtroom. Heads turned as a small boy, no older than 10, stepped forward, his sneakers squeaking against the polished floor. His brown hair stuck up in every direction, and his cheeks were flushed, but his wide eyes held a determination that silenced the room. Judge Townsend, known for her stern demeanor, raised an eyebrow, her gavel suspended in midair. "Bailiff," she began, her tone a mix of disbelief and irritation, "remove that child from the courtroom." But the boy stood his ground, his small frame somehow defying the authority in the room. "You can't make me leave. I know the truth, and it will change everything." This is the story of Jonas Fletcher, a boy whose courage altered the course of justice and reminded an entire community of the power of truth. If stories of bravery, hope, and unexpected heroes inspire you, make sure to subscribe to Timeless Stories. Here we bring you tales that touch the heart and spark reflection. Stay with us, because Jonas's journey is one you won't want to miss. Jonas Fletcher was not the kind of boy anyone would expect to make waves. Quiet and introspective, he spent his days riding his bike through Riverbridge's meadows or playing baseball with his friends. But beneath his calm demeanor lay a sharp sense of observation and a deep-seated belief in doing what was right. One summer afternoon, Jonas had been pedaling through the tall grass of the fields just outside town when he stumbled upon a scene that would haunt him. Hidden behind a cluster of trees, he saw a man and a woman arguing. Their voices were low but heated, the man's gestures frantic, the woman's stance rigid. Jonas couldn't hear the words, but the tension was undeniable. Suddenly, the man grabbed the woman's arm, pulled her toward a car, and drove off. Jonas's instincts screamed that something was wrong, but he was just a kid. What could he do? When the news of Nora Benson's disappearance broke a few days later, Jonas's heart sank. Her photo was plastered everywhere, a kind-looking woman with soft brown eyes and a warm smile. Soon after, Darrell Harris was arrested for her murder. The evidence seemed overwhelming. His fingerprints on a knife, eyewitnesses placing him near the scene, and a motive rooted in a bitter business dispute. Riverbridge was convinced of his guilt, but Jonas wasn't. The woman he had seen didn't look like Nora, and the man's behavior didn't match the calculated coldness described in court. Jonas couldn't shake the feeling that the town had it all wrong. For months, Jonas wrestled with what he had seen. Should he speak up? What if no one believed him? What if he was wrong? But as the trial approached its climax, his doubts were overtaken by a simple, unshakable truth. Justice mattered, and justice required courage. Jonas's interruption of the trial was met with a mixture of shock, annoyance, and curiosity. Judge Townsend leaned forward, her sharp eyes fixed on the boy. "Young man, do you understand the seriousness of interrupting court proceedings?" Jonas nodded, his voice steady despite the quiver in his hands. "I do, Your Honor, but I saw something this summer that changes everything. I need you to hear me out." The judge's gaze softened ever so slightly. "Approach the bench." As Jonas recounted the events of that fateful afternoon, the courtroom listened in stunned silence. His words painted a vivid picture. The meadow, the argument, the car speeding away. He described the man's frantic demeanor and the woman's resistance, details that seemed inconsistent with the prosecution's narrative of a calculated, premeditated crime. The defense attorney seized the opportunity, requesting a recess to investigate Jonas's claims. Over the next few days, Jonas's account was corroborated by new evidence. Surveillance footage from a gas station near the meadow showed a car matching Jonas's description, driven by a man who was not Daryl Harris. Further digging revealed that Nora Benson had been involved in a clandestine relationship, one her family had kept hidden out of shame. The man Jonas had seen was her lover, a detail that unraveled the prosecution's case entirely. Jonas's bravery didn't just exonerate an innocent man, it forced the town of Riverbridge to confront its own biases. They had been so eager for closure, so desperate to pin the blame on someone, that they had ignored the cracks in the story. Jonas's actions reminded everyone that justice is not about convenience or speed. It's about truth, no matter how messy or uncomfortable it might be. For Jonas, the experience was transformative. I was scared, he admitted later, but I knew I couldn't stay quiet. Sometimes doing the right thing means speaking up, even when your voice shakes. Jonas's story is a testament to the power of courage and the importance of listening to even the smallest voices. It reminds us that justice isn't just the responsibility of courts and lawyers. It's a collective effort that requires vigilance, integrity, and the willingness to challenge assumptions. So what about you? Have you ever witnessed something that didn't sit right with you? Have you ever had the chance to speak up for what's right, even when it was hard? Share your thoughts in the comments. Your stories might inspire someone else to find their courage. If this story moved you, consider spreading kindness today. Whether it's standing up for someone who needs a friend, listening to a voice that often goes unheard, or simply sharing this story, your actions have the power to make a difference. Don't forget to subscribe to Timeless Stories for more tales that remind us of the strength of the human spirit. Together, let's celebrate the moments that make life extraordinary and the people who inspire us to be better. Remember, sometimes the smallest voices echo the loudest truths.